Hello, I am Mark Colley. Thank you for watching my presentation regarding the paper investigating the effects of feedback communication of autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles could drive with a human passenger distracted by a movie or video games, sleeping or even completely without a human present. While today, in ambiguous situations, the human driver can communicate with the pedestrian, this is not possible anymore with an automated vehicle. Therefore, recent research projects aim to overcome the possible challenges that arise from a missing passenger. To substitute or to even improve the missing communication possibilities, various messages and technologies such as LED strips, displays, projections and even simulated eyes have been proposed and evaluated. Some of them are shown on this slide. A classical scenario involves the automated vehicle communicating via some form that it is either stopping or that the pedestrian can cross. In these scenarios, the vehicle detects the pedestrian's intention to cross and then yields. In such cases, the pedestrian could thank the vehicle for letting them pass. However, there are also several possibilities where this one-way communication could be insufficient. For example, when the detected intention is wrong and the pedestrian actually wants to remain on the side of the street. In this case, the pedestrian could wave the vehicle through, as is done today. This communication from the pedestrian to the vehicle then has to be detected and acted upon. We investigated this scenario in the here presented paper. But first, we conducted a literature survey. We were interested in the examined aspects of the communication and quickly found that both the communication itself and the vehicle, called system on the slide, are under investigation. The literature survey showed the different dependent variables, for example, hedonic and pragmatic quality, trust, and perceived safety. Based on this literature survey, we chose our dependent variables, which I will present later. On this slide, you can see the scenario from the top on the left side. A two-way street is shown. From both sides, traffic arrives as indicated by the purple arrows. The blue arrow shows the way of the pedestrians. The yellow circle indicates where other people are standing. These people were included as we also wanted to evaluate the effects of other people standing close by, as the mere presence theory states that people's behavior alters already when people are merely in the vicinity. On the bottom, the red automated vehicle is shown. We chose a windshield display as they et al. Showed that gaze moves from the street to the windshield during the vehicle's approach. While such windshields are not yet available, the technology itself is already feasible. Depending on the scenario, the vehicle shows stopping and the additional feedback "thank you" or "you're welcome." Two participants can be seen on the top right. The one participant thanks the vehicle for letting him pass. The second participant waves the vehicle through. Based on the described bidirectional communication, we designed and conducted a VR-based study. The research question was: what impact do the independent variables, feedback communication of the autonomous vehicle, presence of other pedestrians, and scenario have on a pedestrian in terms of mental workload, perceived safety, trust, communication comfort, the autonomous vehicle's perceived intelligence, and the perceived intention of developers? Our factors were scenario where the participant either waved the automated vehicle through and remained at the curb, or crossed the street and thanked the vehicle. Based on the mere presence theory, in half of the conditions, we showed a pedestrian group on the other side. And as we were finally interested in providing a meaningful two-way communication, we altered the behavior of the automated vehicle after receiving the thank you or waving through by the participant. In half of the scenarios, the vehicle did not respond. In the other half, the vehicle, dependent on the scenario, either answered "thank you" or "you're welcome." 20 participants, 10 female, 10 male participated. We found that perceived safety was significantly enhanced with feedback communication, with the "thank you" and the "you're welcome" messages. We also found that trust in the communication, here seen on the left, and trust in the vehicle, as seen on the right, was significantly higher with the feedback communication. We also found some interaction effects of feedback communication and the scenario. Generally, there was a higher rating with bidirectional feedback communication, but similarly rated in the cross scenario as in the stand scenario, while the scenarios without feedback differ greatly in terms of pragmatic quality and perceived intelligence. In the stand or wave through scenario, the difference was smaller than in the crossing scenario. In the final rating, the participants clearly stated that communication with feedback was their preferred communication. Here you can see the effects of feedback on a number of dependent variables. We found, however, no effects on mental workload and naturalness of communication. With this data, we can conclude that the bidirectional communication has positively impacted the communication. It has also positively affected system assessments. Therefore, we conclude that the halo effect is at work here. We found little impact of the presence of other pedestrians. We are, however, unsure whether the group of pedestrians might have been too small to be noticed. Finally, we want to highlight that participants stated that once the vehicle provided a thank you or a you're welcome, the perception of communication altered. One participant, for example, stated that after having seen the thank you, he expected it all the time and found it rude when it did not come. Thank you for your attention.